Welcome to lesson 4 in this 5-part series on optimizing your motorcycle GoPro videos. This episode is all about ND filters. And a lot of people think that ND filters are difficult or complex or hard to use. I'm going to show you that they're not. Bottom line is, if you can take off the lens of a GoPro and put on an ND filter like this, you can use ND filters. There's nothing else to it. The only trick is to choose which filter to use. And in this video, I'm going to kind of take you through sort of the case for why you should use them. And secondly, I'm going to give you some sort of basic theory around how to pick the correct ND filter. And then I'll just give you the cheat sheet, and I'll also show you an app that will help you measure exactly the light conditions and choose the right ND filter. I went down a real rabbit hole with this topic because I tried to apply my standard film and television experience to motorcycle videos, and it didn't work. Normally, if you wanted to shoot cinematic video, you would set your camera frame rate to 24 frames a second, and then you'd set your shutter speed to pretty much double it, so around about a 50th of a second. And when I did my tests, I ended up with this. So I started getting quite a few comments and emails where people would say, no, you can't use ND filters with GoPros because it impacts the image stabilization. And so I scratched my head and thought about it and did some research, and I realized that that's incorrect. You can use ND filters, and in fact, ND filters do help you create more cinematic looks. The issue was the shutter speed that I chose. 1/48th of a second or a 50th of a second, it's too slow. If you think about it, you're riding on a motorbike, you've got lots of bushes and dirt and trees flying past you, and it creates too much motion blur. And with too much blur, the image stabilization can't sort of lock on and correct. So the good news is I found a shutter speed that works beautifully. It creates great motion blur and has no negative impact to the image stabilization. And that speed was around about 1/125th of a second. Okay, so it's more than double what I was using before. So that's the good news. So what I'm going to do is, first, I just want to take you through a couple of basics. I'm just going to talk about some basics around exposure. There are 4 ways to control exposure on a still or video camera, and they are through a variable aperture, so changing the size of the hole in the lens. The second way is through the shutter speed and just controlling how long that shutter stays open for. The third way is by adjusting what's called the ISO, which is basically the sensitivity of the sensor. And so if you turn that up, it makes it more sensitive to light, and it basically gives you a sort of brighter image. And then the last way is using neutral density filters, which is kind of like putting sunglasses in front of the lens. So they're the 4 ways that you can control the exposure of your camera. Now, when you look at GoPros don't have a variable aperture. So the aperture is fixed at what's called f2.8. So it's basically sort of a wide open lens. So that gets taken out of the equation. Next, when you look at ISO, we're shooting out in daylight, so ISO is really only good for controlling the sensitivity in low light situations. That's not applicable here. So we're going to have the ISO turned down as low as we can, which on a GoPro is 100. So that basically comes out of the equation. That's not going to be useful for us at all outside shooting. And that means that with the GoPro, the only thing that can control the exposure is the shutter speed, okay? And the problem is, if you go outside and you shoot with your GoPro, it's going to use a faster and faster shutter speed to correct the exposure, which means that you're going to be typically shooting at shutter speeds of around 1/2000th of a second. And when the shutter is only open for that small amount of time, it freezes all of the motion. And so even though you've got trees and dirt flying past you, it's keeping it too sharp, and it's not creating that motion blur. And your eye actually sees with motion blur normally. So when it's seeing your videos where everything is captured at too high a shutter speed, it just looks unnatural and it looks jarring. By slowing down the shutter speed to around about 1/125th of a second, we create a more natural, more cinematic look to our videos, by introducing motion blur. And I'm going to put a card up in the top corner here of a video where one of the YouTubers does a really good test. He has 2 GoPros, one with an ND filter, one without, and he goes skateboarding, and you can just see the actual difference that it makes. So if you want to see the results for yourself, that's probably the easiest and quickest way. So if we just to sort of illustrate this, let's have a look at my, my DSLR. It's got better light metering, so I can actually show you what's happening when I introduce ND filters. Okay, so I've got my camera set up looking out of my window, and I don't have a whole lot of choice. I'm in hotel quarantine, so this is the only view I've got, but let's see if we can make it work. Okay, so if we look at the back of my camera, all right, so the first thing you see down the bottom here is the aperture is set at f2.8. So that is the same speed as the GoPro. So I've got my aperture pretty much wide open. This is my ISO, so it shows it's at 160 right now. And the GoPro is a little bit a little bit slower than that, so it's at 100, but it's close enough. Now, right now, it's an overcast day outside, but it's showing that the shutter speed for a correct exposure is 1/640th of a second, okay? So this is the number that we want to watch. Now, ideally, we want that down to be at 125th of a second. So here is my neutral density filter for this camera. Now, this is a screw-on ND filter, but what makes this one kind of interesting is it's actually a variable ND. So it's 2 rings, and I can reduce or I can increase the darkness of that neutral density filter by just sort of rotating the outer ring. So I can increase the strength of the ND. So if I now put that on, okay, so I've got that filter on, and I'm going to set it on minimum. So if you look now at the exposure, you'll actually see that the shutter speed is now 1/160th of a second. So by putting that on, I've immediately reduced the amount of light. And by just adjusting the strength of that, you can see now I've dropped the shutter speed down to 1/125th of a second. If I continued to strengthen the filter, you can see the speed of the shutters is dropping. And so that's what we're going to be doing on the GoPro by putting on different strength neutral density filters, okay? The trick is to choose the strength so that we get the shutter speed here at 1/125th of a second. So with the GoPro, you don't use variable ND filters. You tend to use filters more like this. So this kit, this one's from Freewell. It has 3 different strength of ND filters in it, and they're called cryptically ND8, ND16, and ND32. So I'll kind of explain what those numbers mean, and then it'll make it quite easy. In photography, we measure changes to light using f-stops, and a stop means you're doubling or halving the amount of light. Okay, so if I've got an exposure, and I want to halve, and I want to basically reduce the light by half, then I've taken it down 1 stop. If I want to reduce it by half again, then it's a half times a half. So I've now got 1/4 of the amount of light I originally had, and that's 2 stops. If I reduce it by a half again, that's 1/4 times a half equals 1/8 of the light that I originally had, and that's 3 stops. And that corresponds to an ND8. So ND8 means 1/8 of the amount of light is passing through when you put that filter on. If I take that 1/8 and I halve it again, so reduce it by another stop, I've now reduced the light by 4 stops, and 1/8 times a half equals a 1/16. And so that's what an ND16 is. And again, if we multiply that by a half, that's 1/32 of the original light, and that's 5 stops. So ND8 means it's reducing the light by 3 stops, ND16 by 4 stops, ND32 by 5 stops, okay? So the question is, well, which one do you use in which conditions? Rule of thumb, if you're out there in bright sunlight, ND32, okay, if it's a bright day. If it's cloudy, bright clouds, I'd go ND16. And if it's more heavily overcast, sort of darker clouds, I'd go ND8. Now, if in doubt, err on the lighter side of the ND filter. So if you're looking outside and it's kind of cloudy but with some sun, you know, I'd probably put an ND16 in. And the reason is, if you put a lower strength filter in, it just means that the camera is going to adjust the shutter speed up a little bit, but you're still going to get perfectly exposed images. If you go too heavy on the ND filter, then the camera is probably going to start turning up the ISO a bit, and it's just going to introduce, you know, unnecessary noise into your image, but you'll still get perfectly exposed images. So you kind of can't go wrong, but if in doubt, just go on the smaller filter rather than the higher one. Now, if you're like me and you're anal owl, you know, I like to precisely measure the light and choose exactly the right filter. And so I found a nice little iPhone app for that. I don't know if it's on the Android, but I'm sure there's something equivalent to it. And let me show you how that works. So on the iPhone, the app is called Photo Friend, and I believe it's free. Now, when you first launch it, it does look kind of intimidating and complex, but it really isn't, and I'll show you why. So the bottom two rows, they're actually just relating to depth of field, and we're not interested in them. So we can just ignore those bottom two rows. The top row, that's just reading the brightness of the scene, and that's actually not relevant for what we're going to be looking at anyway. The third row down is actually showing you the aperture adjustment. Now on a GoPro, that's fixed at 2.8, so we can actually use the lock function to lock that dial at 2.8 because we can't adjust the GoPro aperture anyway. Now that just leaves 3 dials left, and they are ISO in the top, shutter speed in the bottom, and on the top right it's ND filter strength. So the way the app works is you can just point it out into the scene really anywhere and touch the picture, and it will now read the brightness level of the scene. Now the ISO we leave at 100 because that's the lowest it'll do. And that means that really we're just looking at the bottom dial, which is the shutter speed, and the ND dial in the top right. And what we want to do is we want to try and adjust the ND dial so that the shutter speed gets to our target shutter speed of 1/125th of a second. Right, now we've dialed it in. And if you look at the ND wheel in the top right, you can see it says 16. So this was taken through a tinted window on a bus. And if I was going to shoot this with my GoPro, I would add an ND16 filter, and that would give me my ideal shutter speed of 1/125th of a second. So putting the ND filter on the cameras is pretty simple. At least it is for the GoPro 7 and 9. Unfortunately, when GoPro came out with the GoPro 8, I don't know what they were thinking, but they removed the capability of unscrewing the lens. And that means the only way that you can put an ND filter onto a GoPro 8 is either using some sort of cage or mounting system. I tried the PolarPro mounts and the magnetic filters just kept falling off. So I used this Freewell cage with sort of push-on ND filter, and that seems to do the trick, but it is quite clunky. I hope you found that useful, and I hope that sort of demystified some of the questions around ND filters, and I would urge you to give it a try. I'll put some links to a couple of different sort of brands of ND filter. The two popular ones are Freewell and PolarPro. I think they're sort of both pretty similar. I use PolarPro on my drone, I use Freewell on my GoPro.